Welcome to T-Bone's Best of Roanoke show. Music, comedy, and conversation featuring HB. Wow. The Honey Badger.
Honey Badger don't care.
Now, on with the show.
Are you ready?
I'm ready, T-Bone.
And what about you, Dave? Are you ready, sir?
I was born ready.
There you go.
This is Radio Free Roanoke, and this is episode 154, T-Bone's Best of Roanoke show. HB, we got a dandy today. Straight out of the Chicago Metroplex of Park Forest, Illinois, multi-award-winning singer-songwriter Dave Rudolf. Dave, how are you, sir?
Woohoo! I'm doing just well. I'm episode 154. I feel it's special. I feel very special.
Well, you keep going as long as you've been around, my friend. You're going to be on another episode, probably 300 or something.
Yeah, the recently dead episode. The guy that we should have paid attention to more when he was alive. Episode.
Well, we're very excited. We know you're coming to Roanoke February the 17th. You're going to be at 3rd Street Coffee House, correct?
That's right. Someday I hope to aspire to 4th Street Coffee House. But right now,
that's
3rd
a big
Street is good for me.
That's a big jump, Dave, but keep working.
I know.
Hey, now you've been here before. You've played 3rd Street before, right?
I have. It's a lovely place. And anybody in Roanoke or the vicinity should be there when I perform on the 17th. I
agree. And Dave, for the folks who have not seen you or heard of you, what should they expect? What kind of style of music are you on? What's on your playlist that night?
I'll be doing some stuff from my 41st and 42nd album and some of the other ones I did during the COVID too, as well as I'll throw in my funny stuff. A lot of my humor tunes have been on Dr. Demento and among other things too. So I throw in different kinds of songs all over the spot genre-wise. Music is kind of non-genre specific.
It is, and I want to get into that, but you threw out a couple of things there. You said your 41st and 42nd albums. How many you got in the bag right now?
I believe in quantity over quality. Volume, it's all volume.
Yeah.
More volume, please. And then some of your parody songs. Is Roadkill of Love a parody song, or is that a straight-up rocker?
That's just a straight-up song. That's one of those songs. I write all different kinds of ways, but Roadkill of Love was just a phrase that popped into my head. And I go, I got to write a song about this. So I did all of these kind of, images of being splattered against the windshield of love and things of that nature. So I just took it and then built the song around that concept.
Yeah.
You made it yours. And
yes, I did.
The 41st and 42nd albums, is that your traditional album and your acoustic album?
The 42nd is the traditional. That's getting a lot of airplay around the country on folk stations. That was an interesting project. I didn't write any of the songs, obviously, because they're traditional songs. I'm old, but not that old. And I didn't write songs in the 18th century, so
You and Stephen F. Foster went to school together. I know.
Well, that's one of Stephen F. Foster's songs is on there.
That's Swanee River, right?
Swanee River, and I learned all kinds of interesting things. Like he had never visited the South, so he wrote to his brother about a 2-syllable river in there. And he goes, well, I don't know about that. He goes, there's Suwannee, which is Suwanee, but he goes, that's 3 syllables, so he just shortened it to Swanee River.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
It was written for the new minstrels thing, so it was a commissioned song too. And then like Waltzing Matilda, which is on the album.
Yep.
I always thought it was about dancing with somebody named Matilda,
Mm-hmm.
but it's actually about a guy stealing sheep. So I mean, I learned all this stuff. The traditional song that you always hear connected with the West, like Red River Valley, that's actually a Canadian song.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
They stole it from us.
Yeah.
Hey.
Wade in the Water was a Underground Railroad song.
Wade in the water.
oh, okay.
Wade in the Water, because they would sing it to warn other slaves trying to escape, that it was safe to go, and also to remind them to wade in the water so the hounds couldn't track them.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Makes sense. All right. And then I've told you one of my favorite cuts from that album is Mary, Don't You Weep.
Yes, which is an interesting song because it combines Old and New Testament, if you think about it. Because Mary, they're talking about the Pharaoh's Moses escaping, which is Old Testament, and Mary is from the New Testament. So it's like kind of a transpositional song. So it's considered a railroad song too, somewhat. So
you'll be performing some of those songs from that album, and then total.
Some of those, yeah.
Yeah. Last year, I saw a list, Dave. It was the top 10 albums of 2022 by a writer, and he had on one of your other albums, "Sit Down, Take a Number."
Yeah, yep. That's all original except for one song on there.
Yeah.
It's all original stuff.
And we're using that as one of our bumper songs, plus As This Town Turns to Dust as a bumper song as well. Those are very, very nice tunes.
Well, I thank you very much, yes. As the Town Turns to Dust I toured the colleges forever, and we go through these towns, and a lot of towns, smaller towns, are built upon an industry. And if that industry leaves, like a steel industry or a textile industry, you can watch the town from year to year shrink and kind of, go away because there's no more industry, so the town has no lifeblood anymore. And so that's what that song's about. And Sit Down, Take a Number is just a funny number. It's kind of done like in a Squirrel Nut Zippers or a kind of Big Bad Voodoo Daddy kind of old, jazz kind of a thing. So.
Oh yeah. It's got a nice beat to it. You play a lot of colleges still?
Not anymore. I've kind of aged out of that. And
you graduated?
Yeah.
It took me forever for God's sake. The anatomy and Braille course was hard for me. So.
Don't give up, Dave. Never give up.
I don't give up.
Hey, talking about your albums, we have a crack research team here, and they indicate that your
They're
first...
on crack?
Well,
Drugs are just say no to drugs.
We try to tell them, Dave, but they won't listen.
I know. I don't understand.
They came up with 1973. Dave Rudolph's first album came out. Can you verify that?
That is true. That is true. On vinyl, by the way.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. And you know what?
It sucks too.
Now, Dave.
well, be honest,
Dave.
Yeah.
Don't sugarcoat it.
That up. It was a 4-track demo thing I made, and then somebody convinced me to make it an album, and it was bad. So
Well, let's compare it to what else came out in 1973. Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd.
Oh, sure.
Band on the Run.
Smaller.
Band on the Run by Paul McCartney and Wings. Inner Visions by Stevie Wonder. Greetings from Asbury Park, Bruce Springsteen. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Elton John. You've almost outlasted all of them, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, but that's just a matter of standing up. At this point.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Well, during all of that time that you've been performing, you cover so many different styles. I mean, you've done a folk, country, rhythm and blues. You've done Christmas. You've done parody. What haven't you done? Or is children's?
Well,
you've even done children's songs, right?
Yeah, I used to write for Disney. I've got a gold record and stuff from Disney. Here's the interesting part about Dave Rudolph that absolutely nobody wants to know. I did in 1996. I did the pilot for the all new Captain Kangaroo. Saban hauled me out to L.A. to do that. I did the pilot for the all new Captain Kangaroo as the captain.
Oh wow, that was a big
There's actually a
fan.
video on my YouTube channel of me doing it.
So you got to wear the Captain Kangaroo suit?
Well,
Yeah, there's a long story about that. It takes longer than we've got here. It was kind of a mess and ill-conceived. They had people on it working on it who had no idea what they were doing.
I see.
yeah.
I see. And you've written children's stuff. I think you've written a children's book. Is that right?
I have 3 of them, actually. One of them won a Benjamin Franklin Humor Award. Well, was nominated for the Humor Children Award. That and 25 cents will get you a cup of coffee.
There you go.
Well, it might have to be $1.25 now.
Might be $10.25.
And when we talk about your Christmas songs, some of them it sounded like you do them straight up, but then there's others like "O Tannenbaum." Tell us how you turned the title of "O Tannenbaum" into something different.
Well, if you, I did it to "Oh Tom Got Bombed."
"Oh Tom Got Bombed."
drunk on Christmas, who's like destroying the Christmas tree and stuff. So he got a branch stuck up his nose and a pine cone wedged between his toes.
Yeah.
He got some kind of sap disease.
Sap disease.
There's also then I had Bubba Christmas, which also had stuff like to Johnny Cash's Ring of Fire. I did Santa Fell into a Burning Flue of Fire, and I've got friends in low places. I did I Strung Lights in high places, but I was drunk and kind of wasted.
Yeah.
And then I wrote a bunch of my own Christmas stuff too, but some serious, some not. But yeah.
Was there a song you did, Dave? Was the title "I'm the Man of the House When You're Not Home"? Something like that?
Yeah, I've got that on one of my albums. Yeah, the Man song.
Is that what it
I
is?
didn't actually write that song though. That's a friend of mine who's a comedian. That's one of the few that I didn't write. Humor tunes.
Okay.
On that same album, I had "You're Getting Old," which is about getting old. When a Boy Scout tries to help you cross the street. Well, it's all like old jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things they write about you, Dave, is that you're quite the entertainer. You've been nominated for Entertainer of the Year many times. And having watched a lot of your videos, to me, your magic trick is all your different musical styles plus your humor. It just seems to connect well with audience.
Yeah, I've always tried. I don't take myself very seriously. I look in the mirror, so there's not much to be. I have a face that's made for radio.
There you go.
But, I don't take myself serious. We're not curing cancer up on stage. We're just performers. So I try to make it a communal thing as opposed to I'm just playing at you. I'm playing with you. So a lot of times I'll stop and ask if they want to hear something. They request a Beatles song or something like that. I'll do it if I know it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I do it when I don't know it. I'm an idiot, but I'll fail magnificently.
There you go. Well, speaking of being on stage, I'm going to rattle off some performers that have been on stage with you and just give us a snapshot memory of your memory of them. of your image.
I'm old.
Of
I don't have much of a memory.
Beach Boys.
I don't think your crack staff has a memory either. 'Cause they're on the rack, so there's that. They won't remember this interview after I'm done with it.
Hey, Beach Boys, you did something. You were on stage with them, right?
Yeah, I did a show with them.
Yeah.
That was at the time when they were touring with John Stamos, and Brian Wilson wasn't in the band anymore. And quite frankly, I hate to say this for the people who are Beach Boy fans, they can't sing. They couldn't. They thought a key was something you stuck in a door, not something you would sing in. It was
Whoops.
pretty
All right.
bad.
All right.
But the audience didn't care. They were doing their favorite songs. So,
That's right.
Yeah.
Playing the hits. And then you've been on stage with Cheech and Chong, is that right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
There's an interesting story about that too. That was in a theater in the Round, and people would buy season tickets.
Yeah.
So you had people there, like older people, who had no idea who Cheech and Chong was, and this was in '76, I think, right around there, '76. So they were at the height of their popularity, and so the first thing they did is they stood back to back on stage and flipped off the audience, said "F you," and the young people are screaming at the top of their voice, and the old people are grabbing their hearts and going, "Oh my God, what have we got here?" So, I was laughing my butt off out backstage. So.
Well, then I think this is HB. This was one of your favorites, Smothers Brothers. You did something with the Smothers Brothers, right?
I've done a couple of shows with them. They're great. They're really nice. They're so good at performers too. And at one point they were talking about doing one of my songs, Winnebago Pioneers, but that never came to fruition.
Winnebago Pioneers?
Yeah, I'm sorry, what?
Winnebago Pioneers?
Yeah. It's a humor tune.
Yeah.
But but you know, that's the whole thing about musicians. You know, we're that close so many times, you know what I mean? They're the people who make it big, and then there's the people who are kind of working in the trenches. Boy, I wouldn't want to be a musician starting out right now. It's a tough road to hoe. It's hard to make money.
Well, yeah, and then yeah, and then the wrap up on other people you might have been on stage with or were on stage with. Everly Brothers, we'll go way back. Are they Phil and Don? Is that right?
They were, the Phil and Don.
Yeah,
who hated each other.
Oh, really?
They had two buses. It was an outdoor venue, and they had two buses, and they came on stage from opposite ends of the stage. Didn't say two words to each other. Sounded great. They had a great band with them, and turned around and left. To their own buses. They hated each other till they died.
Wow.
I'd imagine Thanksgiving dinners were a little rough.
Yeah.
sat in separate rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then finally, Sha Na Na. Any memories or recollection with them?
That was at what theater was that? That was in Joliet, the Rialto Theater. No, they were nice guys. That was in Rialto. I did a couple shows there. I also did Little River Band.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I knew the bass player because he's the only guy from Chicago. The rest are from Australia. And the bass player had played, when I first started out, I wrote some jingles and stuff, and I brought him in to do bass on some stuff. It's a small world.
Yeah, it is. Wow.
Yeah, but they were both good live, too.
Yeah, I've seen them, Little River Band.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the people you perform with, Dave, do you just pull in the violinist or the keyboardist or the jazz singer? I mean, all these people are so talented. Is all that around you there?
Yes. The players I've got, I'm so lucky. They're so good. That's part of the secret. If you're a smart producer, you bring in people that you know can do what you want to do. And I have people that can cross genres, because I'll do like Island album, which will have reggae and soca and that kind of stuff. And that's a whole different style of playing, both like, say, drums or guitar. And you got to have people that can move back and forth between them. So the violinist lives right by me. He's fantastic. And
yes, he is.
And I bring in all these top players from Chicago. The guys like the drummer is in the pit of all the top Chicago, Jim Wadlowski. Like he's in Wicked, and he's He just finished Hamilton Run and all those things. So,
Wow.
well, a lot of the guys I do are like top players.
Wow. And then you're going to be coming to Roanoke the 17th of February, 3rd Street Coffee House. Is this part of a worldwide tour, Dave?
Worldwide? Yes. It depends on what you consider the world. Virginia is the world. And then I'm going to Florida.
Ah.
All right.
So, yeah, and then I'm coming back to Illinois. That's kind of my world.
Yeah.
Although I tour everywhere else, but not as much as I used to.
And then for the future, Dave, do you plan to record any more albums? Or you sound strong and you seem very vibrant in the videos.
I have got 2 new ones that I'm writing right now. One's an R&B one, and the other one is more of an acoustic kind of folk, more new folk, kind of Crosby, Stills, Nash, and like that kind of stuff. It's an acoustic album. So 2 of them. The R&B one's just about written. I'll start recording that soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and one of the things I wanted to ask you too, you've been around. Any fun place?
What do you say?
It's all good now. Yeah,
Yeah, it's all good. You're still standing, brother.
HB, you got to put this. You got to rule this guy in.
I know. I try to tamp him down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, but any places you would recommend? What would be a fun place if you sat down with HB and I at the bread table and you said, "Well, this would be a fun place to go visit." What would you recommend?
You mean in Chicago?
Anywhere.
Oh, boy, you're putting me on the spot. Well, Chicago, you got to have some of the Chicago style pizza, like Louis Malnati's and stuff like that. And the museums are fantastic there. St. Augustine, where I'm going, is a really cool little town. That's one of the oldest cities in America, and they've got a lot of like nice history there. Savannah, Georgia is kind of pretty and stuff too. So there's a lot of places. The United States, Colorado's great. Get out there before all the water runs out.
Yeah.
From the college. Yeah. If anybody's thinking of moving there, I think twice right now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The West right now, Southwest.
Yeah.
But
that's gorgeous too. Like the Garden of the Gods and all that stuff is absolutely wonderful.
all right, and then so the Chicago pizza lives up to the hype.
Well, I'm a Chicago native area, but there's lots of. Chicago's a great city to eat because there's so many. It's diverse culturally, and they've got a lot of great, like Mexican, any style of music, food you want is great. Also, the music scene's strong there.
Yeah,
the music scene's really strong in Austin too. That's another place I'd recommend if you're into music. Austin, Nashville. And you got burgeoning things around by you guys too, in both Asheville and Roanoke and stuff. There's burgeoning music scenes out there too. So
right, you are. And as we get ready to wrap up, Dave, it's unconfirmed, but highly reported that if the Chicago Bears win the Super Bowl or play in the Super Bowl next year, you're going to be the halftime act. Can you confirm that?
Well, I'll be playing somewhere.
There you go.
Life. Not at the Super Bowl. It's funny because it's weird. It's this thing about where you're sometimes more known outside of your hometown than you are around. Like if I go to Iowa, then we go, "Oh, we're so glad you're here." And in Chicago, it's Dave. So I had. The Detroit Tigers used one of my songs, Baseball. And I tried for years to get the White Sox or Cubs to use it. Neither of them ever did.
Oh.
But Detroit Tigers used my stuff. I played at the Green Bay Packers. They had me every year for the thing. And they're a sworn enemy. But the Bears never hired me for anything.
Oh, those Bears. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
I think that's just criminal, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to write a letter.
I think you ought to.
Yeah.
It's going to sway a lot of people.
Well, as we wrap up here, my friend, I'm going to give you and HB the last word. You're coming to Roanoke February 17th, 3rd Street Coffee House.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Get a good seat. And it's going to be a very fine show. Is there any other things that you want to touch on that I left out or we forgot to ask you?
Are we going to give away a CD or two for your listeners that they can collect at the show?
That'll be great.
Well, we might do that.
Yeah.
I am ever promoting. That is me.
You are. P.T. Barnum.
Yeah. Well, there's a sucker born every minute.
There you go.
Actually, he didn't say that.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I read. He didn't actually say that.
Yeah, all right.
I don't know. I don't know how true that is. I don't want to be actual factual. Or Nostradamus.
Oh, man, you're good. HB, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, Dave, I just appreciate having you on, and it's been a pleasure, and I can't wait to see you. So.
I really appreciate you guys having me on. Anytime you guys want to do anything, just give me a holler. And we'll send you a bunch of the Christmas. I'll get them to you guys when you're there. I'll get you a bunch of Christmas parody albums.
Okay.
I got a really good Halloween albums, too.
Oh, my
goodness. All right. You do it all. Wow.
He does, HB. I mean, there's nothing. So I highly encourage everybody to go to the show February 17th, but also watch Dave's YouTube videos. I mean, there's just so much good music there. You can't go wrong.
Well, thank you so much.
All right.
All right, my friend. We'll see you soon.
You betcha. I'll look forward to it.
All right. Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, HB. Thanks, Dave.
Good.
When the textile mill closed and jobs became few, in the church there were less souls kneeling in the pews. Yes, it's hard to have faith when God seemed to skip and left us to vanish like ghosts in a crypt. Where once there was laughter on the streets of downtown, now boarded doors keep watch as the dirt swirls around, and the doorbells who greet you are covered with rust. All the memories are fading as the town turns to dust. It was such a slow death as the folks moved away, with no work to speak of. Stores were left to decay on deserted street corners where children once stood. The homes still recall the dwindling neighborhoods where once there was laughter on the streets of downtown. Now boarded doors keep watch as the dirt swirls around, and the doorbells who greet you are covered with rust. All the memories are fading as the town turns to dust. There's still a few stragglers too stubborn to leave, where they feel that they haven't had sufficient time to grieve. It's the end